afternoon, everyone. And I think we are happy to get this opportunity to give a little bit of experience or to share the knowledge. I think with two of them, both having a great, immense knowledge, and I'm actually the youngest in between them. So I think they should be the moderator and not me. But I think luck is on my side that I'm here today. Yeah, but for the session, what we are really looking at is I would expect both my chefs to be able to be a little more candid of what actually we face in the kitchen, the methodologies that are being used, and really what are we really talking about when we talk about what is sustainability, what are the new trends. So yeah, I hope this session is a little entertaining. So I think we'll have the first question across to both the senior chefs here is, what do you really think is the trend of this 2025-26? So chef, to you.
Thank you, Chef Suri. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Supreet Gai. I am the IBIS Culinary Director for IBIS and IBIS Style Hotels in India. I think we have got the right topic. I am one of the person who would believe myself in sustainability, which is I am driving and drilling down to my team. I would say in past 3 years of my journey with Accor now, I have done couple of steps towards the sustainability. I would name few, like we will be introducing cage-free eggs across our 25 hotels in India by end of 2025. So we will be the first hotel brand who will be doing that. I think that's one of the key things which I am very proud of to do. And secondly, I would say carbon footprint. I think team, this is the time. I think carbon footprint is very important to understand, to educate our guests. I mean, I believe in also educating the team who's working for it, but also the guest who is coming across our hotels, across our restaurant. So carbon footprint is, I think, something where our guests should be taught. They should understand how are we calculating it. The menus across all the hotels, you will see the marking, the notions of the carbon footprint. So that is again a step towards sustainability. And I think wastage. When you have a bigger hotels, when you have a bigger catering or you have a bigger operation, I think there is lot of efforts we need to put for controlling those wastage, whether it is from the buffets for your breakfast or your lunches or dinner, and also for your banquets. So I think the chefs need to drill down, the chefs need to understand the importance of each food or each gram waste is an important. So we will be introducing a zero food waste menu. So that is where I would see the trend will be, as Chef Suri just spoke a while, that what will be the future trend. I think the Gen Zs coming to our hotels or young people coming to a hotel, they will understand what is food waste, what is zero waste. People are understanding the media and the social media buzz is also taking this into a positive spirit. So I think these are the few key thoughts which I would say I can bring it and align the sustainability understanding. Over to you, Chef Rahul.
Chef, you have some point to add?
Yeah, of course. So good evening, everyone. Myself is Rahul Shrivastava. I'm the executive chef for Hyatt Centric Juhu, Mumbai. And thank you, Chef Ish, for this wonderful question, of course. And I personally feel the food industry is moving more towards experiential dining and more towards where they have less of carbon footprints. And of course, there will be restaurants which will serve like coffee shops, of course, but people are more going towards where they are getting not only food, as well as along with the food, they are getting some kind of experience. Maybe like Indian cuisine itself, like if I talk about Indian cuisine itself is like so vast, and still we do more of like butter chicken. So now because we are also doing like regional Indian. In regional Indian also we are going very deep, as in we are doing dishes which is like one dish I will just call it like Nai Karam Patti Gola Urandai, which is like very regional. It takes 3 days to make one dish, but again that if somebody eats that one dish, he understands that okay, there is so much of history behind it. Right? Food has a history, food has a story. There is always a story behind each food, each dish, whatever we make. Like I am from Bihar, we make litti chokha. We were making litti chokha yesterday with my team, and they were not, all of them are Marathis. So they were like, okay, chef, what is the reason you created this kind of dish? I was like, see, litti chokha is something which was meant to be for carrying, as in traveling food. It was not like restaurant में serve करने के लिए नहीं बनाया था. It was more like when you are traveling, it is dry, it can travel for 10 to 15 days because that time the travel was different. So I feel now people are also moving towards more of experiential dining. That's why so much of restaurants are coming up. I think yours is one more.
So now, just adding on to what you just said about experiential dining, looking at the Gen Zs today, chef, you tell me, everything has become very Instagrammable. Okay, people look at Instagram, or even nowadays, if we see restaurants and hotels, we are looking at presenting or plating ourselves to the right audience or plating the food so that people get attracted to it. How important is plating compared to the food taste? Because we are finding in a lot of places, Gen Z takes photographs of the food, but really, how palatable is it?
Chef, my expertise is Japanese, so I don't know, by God grace, whenever I am plating something, it looks pretty, even though if I am plating a butter chicken also. But I must say that, yeah, this was a trend before, but now people are also understanding that food is more of taste than actual like photograph. Of course, you will see people taking photographs of your dishes, but at the end of the day, when you eat, they are only going to come back not for the food, as in the photo, for the taste of it. Like I think we all travel to different part of Mumbai. उस ठेले का खाना खाने जाना है. There's something, I'm not from Mumbai, so I can't tell you exactly name. Like if I'll tell you in Mumbai and Delhi, there are so many places where I have done my most of the career, where we used to just travel for 60 like kilometers after our shift at night just for one paratha. Like 7 of our chefs, we after shift like 12 o'clock night. So I feel now people are also moving towards taste, and they will come back for taste, not for the image. Yeah, of course there has to be something extra for them to have, as in like there has to be something visibly, it should look good for sure, but it should not be like only image.
I agree. I think Rahul, I just want to take it further. I think, yes, chef said Instagrammable, plating, presentation, I all agree, but I think the only thing which a person who is seeing those Instagram or the media posts, they will remember the story behind it. Because pictures, there are thousands of pictures, what we see, we try to understand, but only thing which connect is the storyline. How and when this dish was curated, what is the history behind. I've just done a recent menu with Ibis India, where I've done a celeb chef menu. I did a railway chicken curry. And I think the only thing which I know, the chefs know about the railway curries, yeah, it is from the west of India, Kolkata, when it started, the train journey and all that. But when we tell a story to our customer, it is the connect. It is that the guest who will remember this and who will come back to us to try that taste. The plating, yes, it is in mind, but the connect to the heart is the story, I think.
That's it. That is why, chef, I will say, and I'm observing also, that recently there are so many chefs table right now.
Correct.
Like everybody, and so much of pop-ups happening. There are actually agencies which are churning money with these pop-ups also. So I personally feel food has become more than just food. It has become like people are, yeah, of course they're traveling. There is just, I take chef as a story writer rather than just being a chef.
Yeah.
I consider it like on a dinner table, you talk. You have stories to tell, and then you enjoy a very good food. So that is what experience is. And if you get to know like what you are cooking, what you are eating, and a person is there to explain you properly, as in like each and every detail of why something is there on that plate, I think that is what experiential dining is. And chefs are actually, not only chefs, actually in bar, if you will see, now the bartenders are not called bartenders, they are called bar chefs.
Chefs, yes.
Correct.
So again,
So nowadays chefs are everywhere.
I think in Japanese it was from before only. It's called omakase. So it's trending into other cuisines also now.
I agree.
So now chefs, both of you will have to give me a different perspective. Is creativity versus feasibility, because chef handles 20 hotels, you're handling XZ at one location. So for both of you, as per your stature parameters, what is feasibility versus creativity? How do you balance it out? Because till the time you're not creative enough, you don't have guests flocking in every now and then, and our creativity is what we are known for. So how do you balance a creativity with feasibility? Because it's going to be tough for him. I want him to start first because 26 and at the same time. Yeah, I think so.
Chef, thank you for this question. I wasn't expecting, to be honest. It's out of syllabus, guys. But I think I will 100% choose if I am handling a portfolio of 25 hotels. I think it's very important understand your client. We understand our client is a corporate traveler. He would not want to experiment with food. He would want to have his comfort food with him at the dinner restaurant or at his convenient to the in-room dining experience. So I feel the menu should be planned according to your clientele, not as per chef what you think you should have a menu. So that is very important for every chefs. If we have young chefs here, it's very important to understand who's your clientele. If I'm having a hotel in Goa, please understand, people is coming to Goa to try something new. Do not put a comfort food there. If you have a hotel in city hotel, tier 1, tier 2 cities where you know your prime customers are only coming to stay with you and work entire day in their office and they might be tired, do not try to experiment with them. Give them food what they would want to have. Missing their home would be simple as a dal khichdi. I think that is running well across all my hotel. But I think understand your customers are very important in terms of that. I hope, Chef, that is answering your question.
Yes. Now, Chef, since you're Japanese and you have already running specialty, I don't think you can give me the same answer. There has to be something what you really balance yourself out on.
See, nowadays the biggest challenge for a hotel is having people with them, right? We were just discussing it before also. And of course, creativity is something where people know you for, like you that if like the people are aware that ITC में आप जाएंगे तो आपको दाल ऐसी मिलेगी ही मिलेगी. So they are very well known for that. Similarly, other places are known for their own stuff. Like if you go to a good Japanese restaurant, you know that you will get a good food. If you go to a good Italian restaurant, you know that because of their creativity and the creativity what they have done for that menu, and that's why people are coming back for it. But of course, operationally, if you ask me, creativity of course is very important, but it goes hand in hand with feasibility because nowadays the biggest challenge which we just talked about is the manpower. Yes. You don't have that much of skilled people working along with you. So I think for a chef like us, it becomes more difficult for us actually. Like when we were young, it was very different. Now it is more like people don't know exactly the basics of the kitchen. In that case, getting a creativity out of them is very difficult.
Okay.
So first we have to make them understand, okay, that time we are working on feasibility, as in like how feasible we can be on our menu. And then of course, once you are there and you have attained a certain, I'll say parameters, then you come down to creativity. Okay, now let's get to creativity and create something where the guest will be like, oh, this is something which I have never had.
Okay.
So there comes that experiential again. So I'm sticking to that.
Yeah, that's great. Now, keeping your question in mind where you're saying staffing is an issue. So what do you all take as the new trend coming in? How do you look at frozen food, retort? Nowadays you see a lot of people getting into that space. So what's your take on this? How helpful will these be to chefs? Or how will they be, are they a support system to us or a deterrent towards us?
So nowadays I think everybody, in hotels I'm talking about, as we are talking about only about hotels, biggest and the most busiest operation is the breakfast operations, right? Unlike lunch and dinner, it's always the breakfast operation which is the busiest operation for any hotel. And if you see, before we used to break eggs like thousands and thousands of eggs. If you see right now, there are liquid eggs right now, there are powder eggs right now where you can just add water and your egg batter is ready, as in your egg mixture is ready. Similarly, so people are moving actually because, see, understand it coming down to that question again that we don't have that many people, okay, to do everything for us. So we comes down to like how how much of these kind of products we are getting, like you just talked about retorted or what else? The other
Frozen
one?
food.
Frozen food, yes. So people are moving towards frozen food, like sauces and all. It's all frozen. And if you actually look at the breakfast currently, all the hotels, I think 50% is already frozen, which gets cooked and reheated or reshelved and then served on the buffet. So I think people are already moving towards it, and yeah, I feel that is the trend is going to be, and we can't move away from it.
Okay.
There are already frozen products everywhere, and people are using it at home also.
But chef, how conscious are we that if whatever products people are using, are we looking at it preservative free as
Yes,
per se?
yes,
or,
yes,
it's a
yes,
clean label or no?
Yeah,
Because
so
that
in
is
that-
also something that people look forward
In that
to.
also, right now here only, if you see, there are so many people who are doing that kind of product, right? So in that also, as a chef, we have to be conscious enough that what exactly product we are using. Okay.
I agree. Just
So
to take
I
on.
am somebody like, sorry chef, I'll just take one more minute. I am somebody who likes to do everything from scratch, but still situation push you towards doing something which you have to do it. So that's pretty much about it. Then you have to be conscious about that what you're using, right?
That's great. Chef, now coming to you, in this there is one addition for you. So I'm going to keep something twisting going on with you.
I like it. I like
Yeah.
it. Please.
So I would want to understand when you're doing so many hotels and is the standardization for every product regional? Hotel region ways west, central, south, or is it a standardized product all across? What is more advisable when you're doing something like a retort or something like a frozen that you put into your menu? So when you're taking it, do you look at it which region you're going to use that product for breakfast? Simple thing like an upma or poha. So is it going to be regional specific or it's a standard all across the all the states?
Thank you for this question and putting me to a spot. But I would say, guys, managing brand or managing portfolio, it's not an easy job. But yeah, it's with time you understand the importance. But the question says how the menus are planned. But the menus which I have already implemented across all my hotels are basically, I have come to an understanding that 70-75% the menu should be similar to understand and to bring the consistency, and give that 20-25% to the regional chefs who can then understand and play with their ingredients. Because if you control 100% of the menu, or if you're trying to control them, they will not able to make it better, or they will not able to curate it. So to standardize, I think a simple methodology which I do is giving a 75% menu with the chefs to streamline the process, and the remaining 20-25% should be on the chef who's working. Maybe I have a hotel in Kolkata, so Kolkata will have their own specialty dishes which they would love to put on the menu. Similarly, in Kochi or Coimbatore, they will have their own special items, which is important.
So you're telling me local favorites is a part of your menu,
Yes, 100%.
irrespective.
100%. For the a la carte menu as well. Again, my a la carte menu for all my restaurants is 75-80% same. Again, 25% I have kept it very regional, because at the end, people who love dal makhani and butter chicken will want to see that on the menu. People who would love to see a chettinad will see that on the menu. So it's better to have a menu which is very simple, which your guest wants. Again, I will go back to that questions which you have asked me earlier. It's very important to understand your client, chef. I have always believed in that understanding, know your customers, and then plan something for them.
Okay, that's nice. Chef, now we'll talk about sustainability. Like we all are looking at sustainability, but what is one thing that we have done or what you have seen that has changed the path of sustainability within your own scope of kitchens? Like people say, we should do zero wastage for vegetables. Somebody says that we should use paper, we should not use paper, go to the rice straws. So what's such one thing that you have incorporated or the brand has incorporated that has really made a difference in the kitchen perspective?
As a brand, Hyatt as a brand, I think now all the hotels are also taking it very seriously. But there are sustainability plans, there are sustainability guidelines which comes from corporate as well for us. Like everybody has to follow those lines. Like right now we have, I'll just take one example like cage free. cage-free eggs. Okay, that people are already talking about, like we should be moving towards cage-free eggs. We are not going to the farms one. We are going towards cage-free eggs. So I think 80% of my consumption is cage-free. Though it is a little higher on cost for me right now. So I personally feel more and more people will be like using it. As there will be higher demand, there will be lesser pricing as well, right? So currently all the Hyats are working on that we use cage-free eggs, almost 70 to 80% of our consumption of that. Similarly, we have introduced few of the things like mechanism where we work on our reduction of the wastage, right? I'll give you chef one example. I think it's very much personal to me. हमारे यहाँ जो लौकी बनती है ना, that लौकी, generally what you do with the peel, you throw it, right? In Bihar, there is something called as bhujia बनाते हैं लौकी के छिलके का. They make and it tastes excellent. I'm telling you. You make a batter out of it, smaller, and just put chili and turmeric and salt, and it tastes amazing. And you will be like, and you will thank me. Chef, आप तो Indian restaurant है. You are running an Indian restaurant. It will be a very
next thing
good
one more
side.
Next on my menu, I'm going to call you and get it tasted for sure.
So I'm just taking an example that it was always there. People always used to do this, that okay, less of wastage at our home. घर पे हम कुछ भी फेंक नहीं सकते हैं, मम्मी मारेगी, right? यहाँ पे लोग professionally we don't work like that. We feel like okay, that's not completely our money, so we have to be little visible about it. And that's what more sustainability means actually. You know, you have to work with a consciousness that okay, I don't want to waste that much of product and utilize the maximum of it. So yeah, that's
I think,
pretty much about
Rahul,
it.
just to add in your wastage, I think the earlier what I said, I missed the point. AI usage in that is very important. For hotels who can afford the AI bin wastage, we know, I think I've worked with a couple of brands like Vino or something else, but they will help you in understanding what your team is throwing, because you're not available 24/7. You need to understand there is a camera. You need to understand there's a tray which is monitoring your wastage 24/7.
So the mechanism which I was telling you about that Hyatt has started following is that AI based. So it's completely
very important.
image,
I think I think that is the automation. I think, see, getting the products, I understand in next 10 years, we were discussing over the lunch, there will be shortage of labor for sure, but you need to understand how you structure your team, how you structure your brands, for example. You need to understand you have a right set of people there to understand what is needed in the next 5-10. So plan now, guys. It's very important you plan now for next 5-10 years. It is because labor shortage will be there. Today, chef was at ITM. He told me I was at a couple of colleges earlier this month. There are shortage of manpower. People are not enjoying coming to the hotel management college. This is visible, guys. We have seen that. We've asked the management, we have asked the principal, there are shortages and there will be shortages. So how important we quickly understand and try to adapt is very important. Whether, as chef said earlier, retort is the future. Yes, I agree. How you want to take it, which products you want to take it, depend completely on that chef who want to take it and drive it. Frozen will be used, but I think frozen, the only challenge I feel would be the storage and transportation costs, because India is still not a country where a transportation of any frozen item can be feasibly done. So if you want to understand how the cost is driving your hotel and or your menu, please understand, keeping costs in mind, understand the cycle, understand how the next 5 years will be. Thank you, chef.
I think, Chef, I just wanted to reiterate on the sustainability. Whenever we talk about sustainability, we only talk about ingredients. No, there is lots of other things also which we should be talking about. But there has to be a sustainable lifestyle. There has to be a sustainable. No, that's what people are looking at it right now.
Correct.
Like I went to one college and that's what I told you. And people were like, oh, I don't want, chef, why should I work in a hotel industry when I'm getting this higher rate, a higher salary and a very better work-life balance? Why I should be here? And they're all, and when you talk about passion to them, they're like, chef, but passion ka kya kare?
Money is everything.
Yeah, at the end of the day, ghar chal raha hai. And I was like, guys, one very important thing is that you have to understand that you took a call to do this hotel management. It's not like that you decide. Somebody put you through it and like nahi karna hi hai. And that's what. So sustainable work life also is important. Ingredients, of course, that is one part of it.
So, chef, now keeping that point that you raised in mind, for younger chefs, what is the thing that excites you about being a chef? There has to be just 2 or 3 words. I'm not looking for a background. Just a 2 or 3 word thing. What excites you to be a chef? Because since you said people today are asking or questioning the answerability or the capability of why they should look it apart from the monetary, but why should they spend so much time in the kitchen? What is that excites you of being a chef every day?
There are so many chefs here. There are so many chefs here, and I think everybody will relate to me. The creative part, like as an executive chef, I don't get to work on range every day, right? But whenever there is a chance, whenever there is a time, I go and do something, doing the same thing.
Rahul, 2-3 words, please.
Sorry. So creative. Okay, I'll come to the point. Creativity,
Yes.
of course, and I'll say hard work. It's very important. It has to be hard work.
I would say for our future leaders or the young chefs, I would say attitude is, I will still go with attitude. If you have a right attitude, a right mindset, I think the sky is the limit, guys. But you need to understand, you should have that hunger to learn, hunger to become something in future, make your idols, and you will go away. Thank you.
That's the really nice one from both of you. That at least that answers the question of you were saying people are asking or new chefs are asking now. So if you want to be creative, you want to be hardworking, you want to carry an attitude, you want to carry a label of a chef, it's not free. So that's the hard work that gives us this label, right? So that's where I was coming in from. That yes, there is a genre of people that feel why we should do. I'm sorry, please come on to that range, experience it, and you'll fall in love with it. It's not only the money that all chefs are really working for. The satisfaction of making others feel happy, others respecting you. I don't think you have another job that you will have somebody coming up right away. Okay, there's a flip side to it, I don't deny. But there is one side that you have people to come and tell you, boss, what you cook is better than what my mother cooks at home. Sometimes you have people say, that's the best compliment we can get. So that's where things change when it is with chefs and why we are chefs. Coming to another question that is there, is nowadays we are seeing a lot of regional food coming up. Like even you were saying, like chef is also saying, regional menus or local favorites are there. So how important is the story become? Because yes, I understand a lot of hotels put in the regional, local favorite, pop-up, you do a menu for a week. But how important is the story along with it?
So, chef, I started with Oberaj New Delhi, okay, and then my first move was to Chennai, okay, which was ekdam opposite, and people were like, "How will you work?" Okay, and when I reached there, I saw a very good thing, and actually lots of things changed in me after reaching Chennai. Is that in South, if you go, they take their food very seriously. Very seriously means very seriously. I don't think any of the hotel will have a South Indian food but not a South Indian chef. A South Indian chef can only make a correct dosa because that emotion is attached with that food. Okay, similarly, butter chicken can only made very good by you guys as in similarly. But I'm just saying, so that's what I learned something when I went to Chennai, that everything has a story. A dish I told you about, Nai Karampatti, Gola Urandai. Chef Marco Pierre White was in Mumbai in 2016 for some event. Correct. Okay, and we were in Delhi, and of course he don't know that dish. So we made 3 dishes, one Chettinad chicken, one bun parota, and one Nai Karampatti Gola Urandai. It's a lamb preparation. And he left everybody, and he just came to us and asked us, like, can you teach me how to make this one? And because the story behind it, that it takes 3 days to make it, the lamb goes through 3 different processes of cooking, and then the reason behind that food. Similarly, I told you about litti choka also. It's a travel food. Similarly, the story is very important. Everything is story. Butter chicken ka bhi story hai. Right? So everything has a story. So my whole point is, if there is an emotion and a story behind something, people has to love it. There is nothing wrong with it because food is very acquired and subjective, as in like आपका अच्छा मेरा अच्छा नहीं हो सकता है, but if there is a story you might want to try that.